Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and we're going to be learning our new vocabulary words for flowers for Algernon from progress reports 15 through 17. All right, so let's start by rating our knowledge of our words. First word is begrudge. Second is coalesce. Third is labyrinth. Fourth is obscure. Fifth is platitudes. And the sixth is repress. All right, so our first word is begrudge. When you begrudge somebody something, it means that you wish them ill because of something, because they have something you want, or you maybe feel envy of something that they have. So try not to begrudge somebody getting a promotion over you, especially if they've been working at the company longer. I mean, that just makes sense, right? If they have seniority over you, then they should get a promotion before you, unless they don't do anything to deserve it and you work harder than them. Well, then it would make sense for you to begrudge them the promotion. So an understudy might begrudge the lead her role, and she might even go so far as to put glass in her shoes so she can't perform. That's a little psycho, though. So when you begrudge, you are thinking that someone does not deserve something, or to regard something as not being earned or deserved. She's worked hard to get where she is. You shouldn't begrudge her the success she's earned. Or you might use the sentence, after what he's been through, it's hard to begrudge him the money he has. So when I think of this sentence in particular, if you begrudge somebody, you are also resenting them. You don't think they deserve it. So resent and begrudge are very close synonyms for each other. All right, so our next word is coalesce. When you coalesce, it means that something is coming together, merging together. If you're waiting for a plan to come together, you're waiting for it to coalesce. Different elements are joining together, becoming one when you coalesce. If you are trying to start up a photography club at school, and you have a teacher advisor, some interested students, and support from the administration, then you could say that things are coalescing. Your plan is coalescing, or they're growing together. So again, coalesce, you come together, you form one group or mass. The ice masses coalesced into a glacier over time. They grew together, they came together. All right, a labyrinth. So a labyrinth is a structure with many connected paths or passages, and it's usually hard to find your way out. At this time of year, Halloween, I always think about corn mazes. Those are labyrinths. Or I think about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. There was a labyrinth at the end of the tournament to see who was going to actually win the Goblet of Fire. In a figurative sense, a labyrinth would be any kind of complicated situation. Many regular people who are not tax attorneys or tax experts find the tax code to be a very long and complex labyrinth of rules and regulations. So again, labyrinth, any place that has many confusing paths or passages, aka a maze. When April became lost in the labyrinth, she tried to use her phone's GPS for directions. Now, a labyrinth is the noun version of that word, but within the word family, we also have an adjective form, labyrinthine. At the farm, I found it very easy to get lost in the labyrinth of corn stalks. Or you can rephrase this and use it as an adjective and say that the corn stalks were labyrinthine. All right, our next word is obscure. If something is obscure, it's vague and hard to see. Be careful if you're driving in heavy rain because the painted lines can be obscure. Or actually, I would probably say they've been obscured by the rain. Now, we tend to use obscure in the metaphorical sense. An obscure sound is something that's unclear, or an obscure village is hidden away in the countryside, and an obscure poet is little known and probably insignificant. You wouldn't describe Shel Silverstein, for example, as being obscure. Now, obscure actually comes from Latin. It's a Latin word, obscurus, which can mean dark and dim, unclear, hard to understand, or insignificant and humble. It makes sense that it would mean dark because when things are incredibly dark, they are hard to see. Then the dark is causing stuff to become obscured. So again, obscure, you're not well known. or not known to most people, difficult to understand, likely to be understood by only a few people. In The Chaser, the old man owned a little shop in an obscure corner of the city. It was not well known. All right, our next word is platitudes. Now, if an executive gives a speech that begins, "This business is all about survival of the fittest. You need to burn the midnight oil and take one for the team," the employees might get sick of listening to these meaningless cliches and tell him to cut the platitudes. Now, the English language contains many old and worn-out cliches, which is also another way of saying platitudes. Phrases like "ants in your pants" or "as American as apple pie" are so overused that they've lost their meaning. That's what it means when you describe something as being trite. It's like it's weak, it's overused, it's flat, it's very insignificant and meaningless. If somebody told you that they loved you more than every rose in the world, it's such a platitude. Like, is that even meaningful? Do they really love you? It's the opposite. When you use a platitude, it's the opposite of being original. People rely on these tired old remarks when they can't think of anything original to say. I just thought of a better one. Instead of saying "my love is like a rose," they said "my love is deeper than the ocean." Like, ugh, it's so corny almost. Like, really? Deeper than the ocean? That's the best you can come up with? So you gotta really just kind of be warned. If you throw too many platitudes into your conversation, people are eventually going to get tired of listening to you. And you're definitely not going to win a girl over if you're using platitudes instead of like original phrases to express your love. So again, platitude, a statement that expresses an idea that is not new. It's a trite or obvious remark. His speech was filled with familiar platitudes about the value of hard work and dedication. All right, our final word is to repress. Whether you're repressing a feeling, an idea, or even a revolution, you're almost always going to take advantage of the press in repress. Because to repress something is to press it down where it can't be seen, heard, or even recognized. You're trying to get rid of it when you repress something. Psychologists often try to help people recover memories that they've repressed so that they can feel free of them once and for all. What makes repress different from pressing is that repress is almost always used when you're talking about an idea, a concept, or something intangible. On the other hand, pressing something is usually something concrete. You use your hands to press. You use your mind to repress. So in other words, when you repress something, it's usually maybe emotions, memories. You don't repress olives to get olive oil. You would press, just with the P, press the olives. But you can also repress someone or some group by intimidating them. Like you could repress the protesters by sending out cops on horseback, or try to repress them with, as you can see in the picture, the use of hoses and water. So again, when you repress, you're not allowing yourself to do or express something. She repressed a laugh, placing her hand over her mouth. So she's trying to keep it down. All right, so now it's time to write our own sentences. You know the drill. Try to have context clues. Use the 5 W's. Have 2 sentences to get extra credit and get bonus points when you use our previous vocabulary words.